G'day traders, Mindset Reset. Today we're talking about Monday's opening range. A lot of questions, some emails and some comment questions from traders asking about the opening range. And I'm assuming a lot of them may not have the playbook. So we'll just clarify some things. I talked about this in the community post. When you come to the screen, so go back and look at your previous week's templates. You have to understand the importance of an opening range breakout and how that can coincide with day one, day two, day three breakouts. It might be a day one breakout on a Friday. It could be a day two breakout on a Monday. It may be an inside day on Monday. We may have a day one breakout at the close of Monday. I have traders asking me if today's a first red day on certain instruments. The day's not even closed yet. So again, you have to understand exactly what you're looking for. There's no guesswork. There's no hoping and you know, sort of wondering if something's something. It is or it isn't. And that's based on the closing price of the day. So that brought up another point. I keep using Paul Tudor Jones reference to understanding the closing price of the day. So the closing price of the day gives you some information when you're about to take a trade based on the type of setup that you're looking for. So for example, if you look at gold today, look at Friday's closing price. The day itself would appear on a daily chart to close as a bullish day. We had a failed breakout at the close of the session on Friday. Peak formation high in the US, peak formation low after non-farm payrolls. And that was in a 100 pip box. So I have other traders who say that I never answer the question about peak formations. Well, there's Friday's gold chart. If you're not sure, take a look at that. You can use a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart. It doesn't matter. A session will put in a peak formation high or a peak formation low. Otherwise, it's inside. It's inside of a previous day's peak formation high and low in terms of a session. So if you look at gold, that is a textbook example of a peak formation low and a peak formation high, and an entire day's volume inside of a 100 pip box inside of the Friday's US session. So Friday's close is at 50 in what would appear to be a bullish day after a failed breakout. The market made a low in Asia and broke down even lower into the London session at the bottom of the 100 pip box, where it proceeded to auction up 3 levels of rise just below the double zeros into 50, heading into our US window. Now, Friday's closing price is at 50. We have a failed breakout. And as one trader live said, they're going after New York's longs from after non-farm payrolls. Great observation, because that's exactly what happened. And that is an example of a market that is an inside day that's set up as a 3-session setup for a parabolic breakout on a day one. A parabolic breakout on a day one. Now, it didn't quite get to, last time I looked, it did not quite get to Friday's low of the day, but they took out the peak formation low of the US session. That's a great example of a 3-session setup on a day one, inside day, that's set up for a vertical parabolic move. And then, of course, there were second-hour reversal traders, and then they've, since that point, I believe, have consolidated inside. So an example of where other time frame traders may not be behind any of those moves, because we're still inside of a previous day's high and low on a day one, on a Monday, heading into a new timing cycle at the beginning of a week. So we have other markets. We had the indexes that exploded at the New York Open. We had virtually three sessions below the closes of the day heading into the beginning of the US session. So if you go back and mark off your closing price of the day, we had markets that had broke down, not quite broken out. S&P, I believe, and Dow both had broken out of the previous day's low. And again, I need to check. I can't remember if NASDAQ did or not. But the explosive move up at the New York Open on the S&P and the Dow went above the previous day's closing price. Whereas on the NASDAQ, it stayed below the previous day's closing price. And so we had that 3-push pattern and a nice M engulfment 15 minutes into the New York session for a vertical explosive move, 75 pips to the low of the day. So on a Monday, on the opening range, remember, if we're looking for a template, a dump and a pump, we're going to get day one, day two, day three types of setups. Monday to Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or we're going to get dump and pumps. And so traders are asking me, is today a day 3 parabolic, and different situations like that. Very rarely are you going to see a Monday have a parabolic move that goes low of week, high of week for a 300 pip move. It can happen. Usually that will happen when it coincides with taking out the high of a week or a month, or the low of a week or a month, because now you've got obviously other time frames triggered into the markets, and that's where we can get those large reversal type moves on a Monday or a day 1. We saw that on gold a few weeks ago after a big move on Friday. They took it 3 sessions outside of Friday's low for an explosive parabolic move on day 1, which set the high and low for the new 3-day cycle of 150 or 200 pips, I believe. So really understand the concept of the opening range. It's either going to be an inside day at the close of the day. It will be an inside day, or we'll have longs or shorts triggered into the market, and that can coincide with day 2 longs, day 3 longs, whatever that's already built into the template over the previous 3 days, or it may be the first day. So we may now have day 1 shorts in the market, and that could be a first red day, first green day, if it's day 1 longs, that type of scenario. Really hammer home the importance of Monday's opening range. Go back and study your Mondays. Understand what that information tells you, whether or not there are already breakout traders in the markets, and how that's going to set up now heading into our new week. So powerful information. Free Cash Monday. 2 very, very easy trades. There were others. The gold was a fantastic trade. I traded pound yen and NASDAQ. Pound yen I put that up there. It already broken out of Friday's low of day. We're at the low of the month. That's the setup for the low hanging fruit. They pumped it up 25 pips, 30 minutes into the session for the reversal. And that market went 50 pips with zero heat, just collapsed back through the low. That's the low-hanging fruit continuation. One trader told me he took the euro yen. That was the one that caught my interest the most. Euro odd, pound odd. Euro odd was at the high of the month. It gave an easy 25 pip low-hanging fruit pullback reversal. I'm not sure what it's done since. I haven't looked at the indexes since they exploded at the open. I know they pulled back a little bit. Again, that closing price can give you a lot of valuable information. So a trader asks, what is the relevance of that? Does that work with first red day, first green day? Think of it this way. It doesn't matter what type of day it is. If you were in the market at the close of the day on the previous session, so just to clarify, that is New York closing price, New York charts. New York charts, 24-hour market, closing at 5 p.m. New York, closing price. I don't care what anybody else says. That's what I use. I don't care about midnight and all this stuff. That's not part of my playbook. New York closes at 5 p.m. Asia opens at 5 p.m. So, and that's oil and indexes and gold. They start at 6, 1 hour later, which is why the 4-hour rollover is later as well. But you really need to understand the importance of getting other time frames into the market, especially over day 1, day 2, day 3. Think about it. All time frames are in those moves. By the time a 4-hour person's buying on day 3, they're getting ready to reverse the market and trap longer time frames up high or down low for the reversals, or even pullbacks before they continue in the new day 1, day 2, day 3 for parabolic moves on day 3 for Free Cash Wednesday, Free Cash Friday. Those are fantastic opportunities. But on a day 1, when we come into a new week, I'm looking for the cleanest, best trade setup. That's either going to be a session trade, a 3-session setup for a session trade, 50, 75. And as I said, in rare instances, if we've already broken out and triggered longs or shorts into the market and we have other time frames potentially driving those moves, for either a reversal or a continuation low-hanging fruit opportunity. At the end of today, we'll either have an opening range that has broken a level, a previous day's high or low, and closed out of balance, or broken out and reversed, or is an inside day, which means heading into our day 2, our initial bounce, we may have a range that's already set. It may have 3 levels of rise and fall, even though it's an inside day. A great example of that is last week, US Swiss. Take a look at the US Swiss chart last week. Monday set the high and low for the week. 3 higher closes, first red day, vertical move on Friday. Study those charts, understand the power of opening range, know the setups that you're trading, no guesswork, master your setups, master yourself, master execution of those setups in live time, learn to scale them up in size, make sure you lock in profits. I'm getting paid, so I'm not in a move to try and hold on to guess the direction and hold on for some distance on a day 1. I'm locking and loading, I'm nailing and bailing, and I'm taking the money. Free cash Monday means the money's in my account. I'm not holding on and hoping. Hope mode. No, none of those trades, traders. Don't get into hope mode trades. Learn what a setup looks like that's scalable. Learn how to trade it. Learn how to lock in your profits and manage your risk, and then get off the screen and don't give anything back. It's Free Cash Monday. Tomorrow's Free Cash Tuesday. Let's make this your best trading week ever. 1% better every single day. Keep it going. Keep it growing. Boiling hot here in Southern Canada. It's been a great start to the week. Have a great day, traders, and may the markets go with you.